funny.
You're not. Your
live,
Steam
by the way.
activity. Hello. Son of a bitch. Right. Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the Chronicles of Nidum, run by us, Dice the Beholder, and streamed on, this week, maybe the last week, Heavyweight Gaming. Thanks, Adi. Thanks. Yeah. So before we go into it, again, as always, a word about our sponsors this evening. First of all, I just wanted to mention Loki Battle Mats, who are, of course, an award-winning UK-based TTRPG accessory creator. There are many books of battle maps, little, big, and giant sizes, full of amazing artwork that add an awesome backdrop to any tabletop game. If you're interested in finding out more, search Loki Battle Mats on Facebook or visit lokibattlemats.com to view their amazing artwork and shop their physical and digital maps. I believe there may be hours left on their Kickstarter for the Wilderness dual modular map book set. Please pop on there. I can't get the website to work at the moment on Kickstarter, but that may just be me. But pop over and show them some love. They are supporters of the channel, and I'm hoping we're going to get something nice off them as soon as the Kickstarter is over. But more on that later. Also, the second sponsor of the evening, and this is an important one, is Blink Dog Dice. They are a small dice maker based locally in Cardiff. You can, if you want to, find amazing examples of their work available on their Etsy store. Search for Blink Dog Dice. It's all one word. And you can find them that way on most social media platforms as well. Go and show them some love and tell them that we sent you. Blink Dog Dice are an important one tonight because if you stick around for the mid-session break, you will be in with a chance of winning a prize, as I showed last week. And if you check out our Twitter, which is at Beholder Dice, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yep. If you check out our Twitter, you will find a picture of the dice. They're beautiful. I, being colorblind, have completely forgotten to ask my partner what color these dice are.
I'll shout it out as you hold it up.
Mystery dice.
Excellent. Haha, yes, that's helpful. It's
yellow,
pretty.
Like a yellowy amber looking, I guess.
It's pretty. Okay.
Millie's coming.
Yes. There is a free set of dice.
That looks kind of like the cappuccino.
Up for grabs, along with a beautiful dice box.
The sparkly orange and lime green.
Sparkly orange and lime green. There you go. Sparkly orange and lime green dice. So up for grabs. And I will give the word you have to type into chat during the break, just before the break. So everyone who gets involved is in with a chance of winning. But yeah, stick around for that. AD, if you want to bring everyone else on the screen for me.
You'll think about it. Hello.
Hi. Okay. So when Amelia gets back, she's got lost on her way to the room next door, I think. Okay. So is everyone ready to play some
Valheim?
D&D?
I was born ready.
Yes.
Definitely haven't had it.
Yes, Greg. Yes,
Okay.
Greg. No, you're not Greg. Yes, Bri.
Okay. Amelia was there. She knows what happened last week.
Yeah.
However, without further ado, session 58 of the Chronicles of Nidum. Last time on the Chronicles of Nidum, having established yourself, been given task or quest, at least, to free the human slaves in the rear carriages of the train, some of you at least, set to work about planning for just that eventuality. Sepsis spent most of the journey plotting how to take over the train, discovering the workings of the engine room, the driving carriage, discovering the whereabouts of, fortunately, as a side, discovering the whereabouts of the Inquisitor's carriage also. Oriana met an altogether more fiendish member of the, or passenger of the train, a succubus named Luster, who immediately took a liking to you. And with the promise of questions answered, possibly some secrets revealed, Luster took you back to her room. Dice, you discovered something altogether wonderful and life-altering for a lot of the human slaves that you had met so far on your journey. You discovered that the braces that they wore, as long as they were the new versions and not the hand-me-downs or the inherited versions, were incredibly easy to destroy, very easy to break, and once broken, with a magical enchantment having been removed from the item, very easy to also take off. You shared this news with important people around the continent, sending the message to Niklaus Rath, sending the message to your lover, the Princess of Felder, and of the Drow people, and a few select others. It is then, after Oriana returned, you all got into a very heated discussion about what to do once the humans had been freed from the train, or once you've taken control of this transport. The discussion, I don't think, was resolved before you all eventually turned in for the evening, ready to pick up the argument, I believe, the next day.
I stormed off.
You did storm off.
I should probably have my character sheet open now, shouldn't
Yes.
I? On the whole.
Okay. So you stormed off, Dice, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you want to do? Where were you going?
What time of day was it?
It was late. It was about 10 o'clock at night.
I was going down to do my normal feeding of the humans.
Okay.
And checking in and making sure they're okay. But this time, once I was in the slave carriages, I was going to drop invisibility.
Okay.
And see how they were. Literally just have a chat with the few of the people at the front, ask if there's anything else they need to make their journey a little bit less unpleasant.
Okay. As you make your way down the slave carriages then, they are even quieter than usual. On the previous evenings, it would seem that your visits have bolstered their resolve. Some of you heard laughter on previous evenings leading up to this one. However, it would appear that no one is speaking. No one is smiling. Even the children are quiet. Roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I'm very much going to do that, yes. Mm-hmm. May I have a good one, please? Okay, that's not bad. Just knocked it. It was a 12. Perception. Oh, 17.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The only sound coming from the carriage as you walk down it is a ragged breathing. The breathing is coming from all of them. They do not seem to be sick or ill. It's more fear. They're all on the verge of hyperventilating.
Okay.
And as they watch you pass, their eyes do not focus on you. You don't seem to be the source of their terror. Their eyes focus on you because you've just come into view, but they flick away. They're focusing further down the corridor.
On what?
In the direction you're heading. There's nothing in this corridor, but this isn't the last one of the slave carriages.
Before I keep walking, I'm going to turn to one that looks like it has sort of maybe stronger adults in it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go, what's the matter? What's the matter? But I know my microphone doesn't pick up whispers very well.
Okay.
It did.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, wow. I need Ori. Ori! I've got to persuade someone of something. It's a 7. I have many
Okay.
skills. This ain't one of them.
They look up at you, their eyes glazed over in terror. They're not focusing. You are dressed in armor. The last person they saw in armor was abusing them, insulting them.
I've got the helmet off, though. I quite clearly look human.
You're also human on the other side of the bars. And their terror is not letting them trust you.
Okay. I am going to hand the person I just spoke to a roll, like I normally do, but visible. And then I'm going to attempt to stealth down the carriage in the direction they're all staring, really alarmed, but without invisibility cast.
Okay. As you hold out the food, then, you see a couple of looks of realization as they put 2 and 2 together. And instead of an invisible hand pushing the food through the bars, there is now your hand pushing it through at the same place, the same height as previous evenings. They do take the food from you, but it is like this first evening. It's snatched out of your hand and taken away, so they do not have to get too close to the bars for too long.
Okay.
As you leave them then to move further down the corridor, I need you to roll me another stealth check.
Yeah, I'm currently an infiltrator, so that's with advantage, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank God I didn't change back to Guardian. This would have been awkward. Okay. Oh, thank God for the advantage. That was a 1 and a 17. That's 19.
19.
Mhm.
Okay. As you move them, there is a shocked noise as you pass by.
Shocked noise.
It was as you pass by the other cells,
Okay.
passing food as you go. Their breath starts as they notice you, having not heard your footsteps approaching. But they manage to quiet themselves as you pass food. And again, there's the realization of who you are. And your passage, even though noticed by the humans in the cages, is unnoticed by anyone else. As you get to the end of the corridor, the door is not closed.
The door is ajar.
It's not slid all the way into locking position. And from further on down the corridor, roll me a perception check.
Another one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be super quiet, and we've said when I'm being super quiet, I can't use guidance, so we're just going to have to hope for the best. No, it's all right. I'm going to use Flash of Genius on that.
Okay.
15.
15. Okay. From a distance that you can determine is probably the beginning of the storage carriage, where you previously found the water and the rations for the prisoners being kept, you can hear a pained moaning.
Okay.
You can hear the snap of what sounds like a whip.
Oh, this is going to go real, real badly.
And you can also then hear... What languages do you speak, Dice?
Well, my Professor Orb speaks, it will give most things a go, but speaks Elvish and other things. I can't remember precisely what we said. I speak, I don't really know. Common, Gnomish, and Infernal.
Okay. You hear please stop. An infernal.
Oh dear. Yeah, at this point then, I am going to end up dead, guys. I'm sorry about this.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, I definitely do though. I'm going to continue to stealth until I can see. No, I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to stealth, but I'm also going to do it in spider climb, so I'm going to stealth from the ceiling.
Okay.
To be as out of sight as possible. I would like to stealth upside down, please.
Cool. Okay. So stealthing then above the very small lights hanging from the ceiling anyway. Well, your advantage doesn't stack, but you start to crawl slowly along the ceiling then. The prisoners inside the cages do not notice you.
Would be horrified if they did.
They do not start or react in any way, to give away your position. And as you get closer to the door, you find that the door to the storage room is slightly open as well. The closer you get, the louder the cracking sounds, the louder the moans, the more jumbled and garbled the infernal becomes as the pain increases.
I'm gonna stick my head down until I can see through the gap, but still upside down. So anyone who was looking for a person, probably would be looking at head height through the door and below. They wouldn't. Nobody ever looks up, right? So I'm gonna look from above and through.
Cool. As you look through, you see the two automatons that were guarding the Inquisitor, standing as if acting like a torturer's frame. Between them, held by hand and chained by ankle, so that they are in like just an X shape, is a creature you have not seen. However, from Oriana's conversation earlier, you can probably surmise that this is a succubus.
Okay.
Standing before the succubus with a whip made, from your angle, the lights as they dance, it looks like the whip is made of ice. It shines and crackles with a familiar energy. The last time you saw it was emanating from a box that contained a lot of hands. And as the whip rises again and slices across with a huge crack across the body of the succubus, she cries out.
Who's doing the whipping?
You can't tell because they've got their back to you and there's a hood. Roll me an insight or investigation check. Your call.
We just go with a straight up intelligence check. I mean, natural 20. It's 25.
Okay.
An investigation.
Even in this low light, with your goggles of night giving you dark vision, blacks and greys aren't really telling you much. However, the person's stance, the way they hold themselves, the way they move, as if every joint cracks as they move it, the way their head cocks as they stare at the succubus in front of them, even though you can't see their eyes or eye, your brain tells you. Maybe there's only one good one working in their head. Reasonably confident that the person standing before you with their back to you is the Inquisitor's assistant.
The Inquisitor's
the fiend hunter.
Not the Inquisitor.
No.
I am going to scuttle as stealthily and as gently but as quickly as I can on the roof, back to my carriage. I need help.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
Okay. Flash Genius on that as well. Why am I rolling so badly? This is when I don't need to roll badly. 17 with Flash of Genius.
Okay. Okay. You could begin to make your way back.
As soon as I'm out of easy earshot, I'm gonna put my helmet back over, go automaton, and drop to the ground and just walk as fast as I can without being super obvious what I'm doing.
Okay. So you move away. You get back to the carriage as quickly as possible. Takes you a few minutes as you navigate late night travelers moving around in the corridors. Eventually you do get back. Fives moves out of the way, lets you into the carriage. Everyone is... You haven't been gone for long. There is still an air of tension in the carriage. And you realize that less than maybe 10 minutes ago, there was a very heated argument going on in this room.
Hi. Guys, right. Putting aside the argument from earlier, I'm sure we'll come back to that later, but priorities, right? I went down to the human carriages to feed them and give them water like I have been doing every night since we got onto the train. And they all looked really, really scared. So I stealthily went down and checked what was happening. And the Inquisitor's assistant guy is torturing what appears to be a succubus with 2 automatons in there. And she was screaming in pain. And I really, really, really want to help with that.
I instantly get up, turn back into the watered down tiefling and head to Lester's room.
So, you've been doing what?
Feeding the humans.
Great.
Well, they didn't know it was me. They do now, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think Oriana just went?
I've just gone. I've shot straight out of the room to go to Lester's room.
I'm not really
She
sure.
has walked the wrong direction.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but she said she met a succubus earlier, right?
Uh-huh.
That would make sense, that that's where she would go.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what this has to do with any of us.
I mean, look, we all hate the Inquisitor, right? Unless you have ambivalent feelings towards him.
It's not my favorite person. He's super, super fucking gross.
Well, I know for a fact Oriana would quite like to kill him. So wouldn't removing his assistants and his automatons be a really good way to work toward?
I'm confused. What if he's a redeemable soul? Surely we shouldn't kill him unless we absolutely can't avoid it.
Sepsis, there's someone being tortured. Can we go over semantics and sort of morality and altruism later?
I mean, they are.
Yeah, I'm horrendous ringing, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's awful.
I don't hear it.
Let me try muting myself and see if it's me. Bri, can you try muting yourself? Oh, it's gone. What was that?
I wiggled my mic.
Oh, it's you because it's just come back.
Try muting
No.
yourself, Greg?
No, it's not Greg then.
Like it's fairly intolerable.
I only hear it when you talk, Millie. I hear a little unpleasant sound then, but I could try swapping to my I'm not actually on my headset mic. That might be one.
Is that any better?
Yes, it's just gone
So
away.
much better.
Completely.
Okay, sorry about that. I have no idea what was causing it, but it had something to do with my webcam, apparently.
It wasn't even a ring. Biggie's right. It was like a continuous cricket chirp.
Yeah.
Pressing
terrible.
crickets.
I'm glad it's gone now. Anyway, I mean, I don't mean to be callous here, Dice, but didn't you say it was a succubus being tortured?
Yeah?
Isn't a succubus an evil demon?
I mean, unless you think Ori's an evil demon, which I definitely don't, so I don't think we can lump everyone together like that. It's like saying all elves are evil, which I clearly don't believe.
Hmm.
I do think that the Inquisitor deserves a crossbow bolt through the eyes, but he's given me evidence for that. That's the difference.
I'm just struggling to understand why it's our problem.
Yeah, I can see that, Sepsis. Unfortunately, this seems to be an area that you struggle quite a bit, but Ace, I think, will come with me to help. Ori, I think, has already
Isn't-
gone to get help.
Ace, aren't you sworn to stand against the forces of darkness?
Yeah, Ace would definitely come.
You're muted.
Until I didn't actually speak.
No, I can see you were going to.
Until Sepsis spoke his last words, or their last words, Ace was fully on the side of Dice. Ace looked ready to join Dice as they walked out the door. However, upon reflection, having heard what Sepsis said, Ace looks hesitant.
You know what? That's fine. I would rather die trying to save someone who is being tortured than sit here and do fuck all. And I'm going to walk back out again.
Okay. Meanwhile, Oriana,
Mm-hmm.
you rush through the corridors, eventually getting to the dining carriage. It's quiet. No one in there apart from a couple of dwarves and a dragonborn still drinking, alone for the most part. But as you rush through, a couple of them gave you familiar glances, remembering you from earlier on that day. And as you make your way then towards the first class carriages, there is still a guard standing in front of the door. Excusez-moi, madame. The elven man stops you. You are not a first class passenger?
I'm visiting a
cannot.
friend.
You have not been requested by this friend, therefore we cannot let you through.
Are you able to let me know if she's passed through this way?
I have not seen her since this afternoon, or this morning when she was with yourself. I can have her room checked for you if you wish. However, if she wishes her whereabouts to be known to you, then we will send you a message tomorrow.
If you could check her room, I have some concerns about her well-being.
But now you have not been there. Surely, if
There were some things we discussed this morning that has made me worried about her well-being.
I will, as soon as the waiter comes back, I will have someone take a message to her room. If there is nothing else.
No, that's it. Thank you so much. And I turn and walk away. And I'm going to cast Sending to Luster.
Okay.
Just going to go, where are you? Are you okay?
After a moment, you hear pain.
Cool. That's the only
The
answer I
first
need.
part of it is not a word, but you can hear the feeling of pain, which is pushed down, and you can feel it being pushed down as the message returns to you very quietly. Not my idea of a good time, but beggars could not be choosers, I suppose. And that's the end of the message, as you feel pain radiate over the link again.
Yeah, I head towards, back towards to grab Dice.
Okay. Taking you moments to get back, then you see Dice walk out of the carriage or walk out of the cabin, steeling themselves for what they're about to try and do. Just after you've closed the door behind you, Dice, the door opens again. An Ace walks out. Thor would want me to defend the friends of my friends.
I mean, I'd like to think most gods that are worthy of being gods would want you to defend people who need it, regardless of who they are.
If Oriana trusts her, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, sepsis I don't think is coming. They've decided they don't care.
Oh no, I'm coming.
Are you standing behind Ace now?
Yes.
Okay.
I flick sepsis on the forehead and then start walking down towards the slave carriages. Like, not hard enough to hurt, literally just a think. You're an annoying git.
Okay.
Ah!
Okay. How do you want to do this?
Am I met
Oh,
back
fuck
up
off, we
with
won
dice now?
already.
You've met back up. Yeah, you've got
Right.
there.
I carry on walking past to walk down through the train and go, just tell me which carriage.
Just keep going. We're coming.
Cool.
Okay.
Apparently all of us.
Let me know when I get to the door. I am not stealthing at all. I am just full-blown walking down through this carriage. I'm pissed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also not stealthing now because what's the point? Ori's in front of me. I've got automaton though, so I've covered my face. I also grab Fives' hand as I go past and go, come on, Fives. We're going to fight something, I think.
Okay.
Please help.
As you storm off down the train then, the further you get, Ori, as you've never been down this way, same for you, Sepsis, you begin to see that the cabins and the compartments are much less well appointed as your own, until you eventually get to what should be a locked door, but is slightly ajar now. The smell coming through it is waste, sweat, stale air. And as you get through, you notice that these are the slave chambers that, that Dice has described to you previously. As you storm down now, making not an inconsiderable amount of noise, the humans are strangely drawn forward, drawn towards the bars of the carriage as they see this motley crew. Are you a half-orc, Oriana? Or are you a tiefling?
I'm a tiefling, but as soon as we hit the human carriages, I drop disguise self.
You're a full,
I'm
you're
full
normal,
blown
full tiefling. Okay.
And I've taken my helmet off because at least the humans know roughly who I am now, maybe.
Okay.
I'm going in wings flayed as far as I can on a train, and
Ace follows suit then, in the shiniest set of adamantine armor you've ever seen. Followed up, I'm assuming, taking up the rear by the shortest, the shortest dapper gent. And as you progress through the carriage, you can hear still the crack of a whip. And Oriana, being up front, you hear now shouted in Elvish, "Do not lie. Where are your... Who else is aiding you aboard this train?
Ah.
You cannot be alone." And you hear another crack.
I hear that too, I assume.
That's our cue.
yeah, I'm going to kick the door open and shout, "You want to hunt a fiend? Hunt me, bitch!"
Okay. And then what are you going to do?
I'm gonna throw a thing off my necklace, and I'm gonna throw a fireball into the room.
Isn't that going to kill the it's going to
Nah,
You should have a resistance or an immunity to fire.
I am just sorry. As Oriana kicks the door open and says that, I'm casting minor illusion behind to make a thunder rumble.
Okay. This is how a thunder thought enters a room.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I'll
give me a
have to
second
agree.
then. So I can prepare the battle map. Bear with me, AD, don't change it yet.
She's a fiend, so she has a resistance or an immunity to fire, so she should be okay.
Probably.
Worst comes
Depending on how much damage she's taken from being tortured, but going by her message, not too much.
Astonishingly, I actually do have Cure Wounds up as a spell at the moment, so
She has a resistance to cold, fire, lightning, poison, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks.
You shouldn't know this.
You shouldn't know this. This is
You're allowed to know this.
this is metagaming.
Why
this
am
is
I on the
illegal.
screen? Why is
I'm telling
Ariana on the
Bryce.
screen? That's my bitch. I can know this.
Nope, you definitely can't know this.
You would have had to roll to know it, I think. Seems like you've looked up the stats.
Either way, I know she's a fiend, and I am also a fiend, and I am resistant to fire.
That is fine.
Reasonable logic. Good news, I'm not gonna tell on you. I don't snitch.
For a brief moment, my Oriana's fan art was on the screen. I love that fan art so much, and I still can't get in touch with the artist.
You know, we did try.
I have a resistance to fire. I am working hard on getting Bri to give me a immunity to fire.
Snitches get stitches. We would never snitch. We're not.
At one point, I do want her to just walk through fire and scare the shit out of people.
I mean, you can always do that, it just hurts.
Yeah, I'd like it to do it and not hurt.
Well.
I need to take one of the things off. Yeah, I'm gonna burn this bloke to bits.
Sounds pretty fun.
I might also kill the automatons, though.
I can try and fix them. They've been slagged. By slagged, I mean, melted, not made more promiscuous.
Take another pearl off that necklace. I also don't have any third slot spells because of sending.
Well, we weren't expecting to do this.
That's okay, I've still got plenty in like 1, 2, and I've got... Oh yeah, I forgot that fireball, I can choose what level I cast it at.
Yeah.
I think casting it at level 8 might be a bit much. It's 13d6 damage.
It also uses more beads the more
Yeah.
you cast at a higher level.
Yeah, I'm only throwing the 1 in.
So what level fireball is that? Just curious. We're going to find out in a minute anyway. But...
It's 3rd level, but because it doesn't actually use a thing, it's fine. But it's still 8d6 damage.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
I only have 3 out.
Sorry for the delay there. Okay. AD, if you want to bring up the map for me?
Map.
Awesome. So, as you burst through then, directly in front of you, you can see the cargo compartments just set off to the left and right, along, with the long corridor in front of you. Directly in front of you, maybe 20 feet away, the Inquisitor's assistant begins to turn at your words, 10 feet away from them, to give him a good wind up with the whip is the succubus being held between the two automatons. The succubus is barely conscious, and
He needs to roll a dexterity saving throw.
where are you throwing the ball from the necklace? It directly at him?
Just in front of him.
So just in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he will still get the most of the brunt of the blast.
Okay. So dexterity saving throw from all of them.
Yeah.
Obviously she automatically fails.
I imagine the automatons would as well, because they can't dodge, because they're stuck holding her.
True.
And doesn't he get disadvantage for it being a surprise attack?
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll give you that. Give me a second. There we go.
I'm about to set this train on fire.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, okay, so from the assistant, that's going to be a 14.
Fails.
Okay. And the automatons, it's going to be a 10 and a 13.
Fail.
And she's automatically failed anyway. Do me a favor and roll me
8d6.
Okay.
That is 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
And it doesn't take a spell slot.
No, it doesn't. It also doesn't count as a spell you've cast, so you're not ringed in flame.
No, I also don't do a wild magic surge.
No, you don't. Okay. So you see the fire engulf everything in front of you. The ball of flame, as it expands outwards, rushes up the corridor towards you, stopping inches in front of you. And as it starts to pull back, you start to see through the smoke and the now set aflame boxes, bundles, rags. You see the Inquisitor's assistant glaring at you through his one good eye, enraged.
I wink and blow a kiss at him.
And I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
I get advantage on initiative now. I'd forgotten about that.
You also see, though, as the fire subsides, the two automatons still standing there. The succubus is no longer moving.
No, I know.
They drop her, and she collapses to the ground.
You killed your girlfriend.
Okay. I would like... there we go. 25 to 20.
22.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oriana. Ace is actually next.
Oh, are you running Ace?
Did you roll for Ace?
I have done, but if you want to run them, that's fine by me.
I rolled the 21. Do you want to take my roll or your roll?
I want to take your roll.
Cool.
Okay. Did you roll for sepsis as well, by any chance?
I didn't roll for sepsis as well, no.
That's unfortunate.
Sorry. Okay, 20 to 15.
Let me start thinking about what I'm going to do.
That's a no?
That is a no.
Okay. And 15 to 10?
Oh, 15. Right, 15. 15.
Okay. And 10 to 5? Jesus, sepsis. Okay.
4.
Oh.
Okay. And... Okay, cool. And 5s goes after you. Okay, Oriana, you're up.
I do a medicine check on Lester. I just want to see if she's breathing.
You can. She's about 40 feet away, so if you're going to roll a medicine check, you'll do it with disadvantage.
That's fine. That is 12.
12. From this distance, with the smoke and the flickering flames that you've created in the room, you can't really tell.
Either way, anyway, I'm going to cast Healing Word on her.
Okay, so bonus action Healing Word.
It's an action. Oh yeah, it's bonus action, isn't it? And it is. I'm casting it at. What level am I casting it at? Level 1. Just enough to stop it from actually doing death saves, hopefully. That is 9 points back.
9 points back to
9
Lester,
points
yeah?
back, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Can I still cast an action now?
You can still use an action if you want to. However, before you do that, I need you to roll me a d20.
It's 11.
11, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 1s, but it's not a 1.
Okay, no problem.
And so my main action, I will. How likely is that? How far can I cast it? How far away from me is he?
He's about 20 feet.
Okay, that's cast on self. That's not going to work. I'm going to cast Cause Fear.
Okay.
So it's a wisdom saving throw.
No problem. That is going to be a 19.
Ooh, he saves.
And as your fiendish visage kind of pours from you, and you can feel the darkness in the flickering flames kind of wrap themselves around you, and you push that towards him, his eye, one good eye, flares in momentary terror before he shakes his head. And instead of raging at you, he now smiles at you and readies his weapon.
I'm still smiling.
Okay.
Like, I see you've played Knifey, was it?
Knifey Spoony before.
Knifey Spoony before. Good.
Okay.
Someone who's not going to piss themselves at the sight of me.
Ace.
Okay. Ace, I think, will run forward.
Ace is behind Oriana.
Well, they're going to try and run past
Okay.
Oriana. Run up and fight someone. I can't really tell who's who in this. I'm guessing the person closest to us is a villain.
I'm going to try and zoom it a bit, I think. By which, hey, look, you can now see him in the background moving the camera on the battle map.
Yeah.
Shouldn't amuse me as much as it does.
I'm guessing that's...
Yeah, because I think the succubus is the one between the two guys at the back.
Ace.
Yeah.
Oriana. Dice. 5s. Sepsis.
Yes, and who are the other people?
The two automatons.
Okay.
Yeah, two automatons, Lester in the middle, which is my old character fig, and the hunter guy in the middle, up front.
Hey, yeah, Ace is going to run forward and attack the hunter guy.
Okay.
Using Thunderstrike.
Okay. Give me a second.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just realised I now have 3 miniatures for my characters, because that is my first ever D&D character, Muriel.
Yeah, we still have them all.
Rushes up to attack
Yeah.
the Inquisitor. Okay. And roll to attack, please.
Can't make me. 23 hit.
A 23 does hit.
That's good. I'll roll the other one as well.
Okay.
Does a 21 hit?
21 does hit, yeah.
Excellent. We will spice the first one up with just a first level smite, I think.
Okay.
Smite 1d8. So, sorry, I'm not as familiar with Ace's weapons as I used to be, so it's
Cool.
1d8 plus 6. Is it always 1d6 lightning damage as well?
Yeah.
Cool. 2d8. 1d6. That is not a great roll. 8, 9, 15 damage for the first hit.
Okay.
And only 9 damage for the second hit.
Okay. Right. So as the hammer flies forward, then you strike, and then back again on the rebound. The Inquisitor's assistant, the Fiend Hunter, pulls away, and you feel like the first hit didn't connect as hard as it should have. But Ace readies themselves for a retaliation. And...
Okay, sorry, Ace is also going to do a shove with a bonus action.
Okay, cool.
So this is going to be athletics.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 24. You have to roll against it.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to be a 20.
Yeah, so Ace wins. So it's shoved to the ground.
Prone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Inquisitor's assistant is knocked prone. And is that the end of Ace's go?
That is the end of Ace's go.
Excellent. Okay. As then his back hits the ground and the breath explodes from his body, his eyes are finally taken from Oriana and they stare up at Ace. And from their prone position, laying on the ground, instead of the whip, the other hand comes up and attempts to stab straight through a chink in some of Ace's armor to kind of hamstring them. And give me a second.
You think Ace M is not going to be happy.
That's going to be a 21.
It does hit.
Okay. And there we go. As the dagger then slides through, I'm going to need Ace to roll me a con saving throw, please.
Will do. Con. That is 21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay, they save. They are not poisoned.
Good news.
However, they do take, there we go, 7 points of piercing damage as the dagger goes straight through the chink in their armor.
Mm-hmm.
And they also then take a further 4 points of poison damage.
Okay.
As there we go. Bear with me. Mine looks like it's frozen. No, it hasn't. There we are. Okay. Pulling the dagger then from Ace's ankle, they bound up, instantly moving at a speed impossible for Ace to follow, giving them no chance at reacting, or even the ability to swing at them, as they rush forward to face Oriana, leaving Ace in the dust.
Opportunity attack?
No, he said no chance to react.
Oh.
I guess he doesn't
So
take
who is... Oh, that's Ace that's just rushed him. And he's now rushing me.
Yeah, Ace is the unpainted one. I might just paint Ace at some... Anyway, that's not relevant.
Sorry?
I said we might paint Ace at some point, didn't I?
Yes. Okay. Oriana, Inquisitor's assistant now, right up in your face. One half of their face scarred, broken. The other half alive with fury. And what you can now see is a strange, psychotic lust for pain. They attempt to strike at you with
Cast
their whip.
shield.
Okay. And there we
You should
go.
only need to cast shield if it's over your armor class. Because shields react.
Yeah, let's just remember what my armor class is.
Okay, good point.
I'm naked, practically.
Okay, that is going to be a 17 to hit.
Miss. With shield, I am 18.
Excellent. Okay, so the whip snaps forward, attempts to wrap around you, but is halted, seemingly in midair, just a few inches away from your body as it falls limply back to the ground. The The Inquisitor's assistant looks at you confused and braces themselves for whatever you might do in retaliation.
I just whisper, harder, Daddy.
Gross.
Okay. Dice, your go.
I gotta let the dog out.
Yeah, I'm going to do something quite weird.
Okay.
I still have spider climb up because it lasts for an hour and it definitely hasn't been an hour. So there's no reason I would have dropped it, right? And I haven't been hit with anything yet, so I haven't had to roll concentration checks. So, I am going to run up the wall until I'm directly above the Inquisitor's assistant's head.
Okay.
Then I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt straight down into the top of his head. Not Lightning Launcher, Lightning Bolt.
All right.
It's a 100-foot long line, but it's only 5 feet wide. So it won't hit Ori. It will hit him.
Okay. Cool.
Right through the bottom of the train.
It might put a hole straight through the bottom of the train. Like, this is a nasty spell.
Okay. As you do this then, and you push the lightning bolt straight down towards the Inquisitor's assistant, I believe it's a dex saving throw?
Do you know what? I don't know. Yeah, it's dex save.
Okay. That is going to be a... that's going to be a 16.
Fail.
Fail. Okay.
Yeah, I need some more d6s. Hang on a minute. I didn't actually expect to hit him fully, so I haven't got them out. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 8. I haven't rolled something this high for a long time. I really dislike this die.
Okay.
Okay. So that is... it's 32 points of lightning damage.
32 points of lightning damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Through the top of his head.
You see then, Oriana, an explosive flash of light before your eyes, and as your eyes adjust to it, you can see the blue corona surrounding his body as it goes rigid, with an electric shock as you glance up and see Dice using their spider climb ability to hang from the ceiling and direct a lightning bolt straight down through the head of the Inquisitor's assistant. He takes the full brunt of the blast.
Fail to save.
Talk about a splitting headache.
He is not immune or resistant to lightning.
That never happens. I'm so excited.
And takes 32 points of damage, you said?
32, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to need you to roll me a d6. Dice, please.
Let's choose this set.
If we don't kill him, we've given him a headache.
Oh, yeah. 3.
3.
3.
Okay.
In the middle. What were you aiming for? What's this for? Tell me.
As the crack of the lightning fades from your ears, you feel like there's an echo, like maybe your hearing has been damaged. There is a repeated cracking sound, louder, quieter, short crack, a long creak. The carriage starts to shudder. Is that the end of your go?
No.
Okay.
But very nearly. I'm just going to cast Shield of Faith on Oriana. It just gives you +2 to your AC. It's not a spell, it's a use, so there's no reason I can't.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, shield on it is only for 1 round, isn't it?
Yeah, shield's a reaction. This will stay on now.
Okay. So my AC, I'm just going to write down my AC is 15.
Okay. And it is now the enemy automaton's turn. So having dropped their prisoner, they take out very similar guns or hand cannons to the one that Fives has.
Okay, they can't hit.
Take aim and take a shot at Ace, who's out in front.
I figured they'd go for the person throwing lightning from the ceiling.
Well, the first one is going to take a shot at Ace. So give me a second. Okay.
Right, Aiden's right. Shield of Faith is concentration. If I do that, I'll drop from the ceiling onto the Inquisitor's head, which seems like it would be a mistake.
It's up to you.
Sorry, Charlie, I'll have to keep.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
Okay.
So the next time he goes to attack me, I can use a reaction again.
Yes. Yeah.
And that puts my AC up to 18. I really need armor.
Yeah, you do. We've got to find something. Maybe special bracelet.
I think Ace might have to make me some sexy armor.
Sorry, I don't have the apparatus to, put you upside down. But yes, you are currently above. So the two shots. There we go. Okay, the first shot is going to be that's 15 to hit Ace.
You mute Greg.
It's all right. I know 15.
You know that. You know that doesn't hit.
The second one though is going to be a 28.
No, that also doesn't hit actually.
Okay.
Ace is wearing 2 sets of plate armor today.
Okay. Broke the first one, but the second one just took the impact. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That one does hit.
okay, cool. That is going to be then. There we go. Ace takes 13 points of piercing damage as a large metal slug just finds its way through their armor.
All right.
Okay. You can see them both reloading the firearms that they are holding. And it is now... There we go. Sepsis's go.
Okay, there are 2 things that I want to know about the succubus.
Mm-hmm.
One, I would like to know if they appear to be conscious now that Ori cast Healing Word on them.
Roll me a perception check.
Love to. 10.
10? You have no idea. The amount of smoke, the amount of smoke and the flickering lights, it's even playing with your improved dark vision. You can just see the prone form of the succubus through the smoke and the flame. You cannot tell whether they're conscious or not.
The other thing I want to know is, based on my knowledge of fiendish types, whether they have a similar quality of dark vision to what I have.
You would say, with your knowledge of, particularly with your master's teachings and your familiarity with his particular form of magic, yes, a fiend would have the same kind of benefits to dark vision that you do.
Excellent. I am going to use 2 of my sorcery points to cast darkness centered on the succubus.
Okay. What's the range on darkness?
60 feet.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's fine. I was just checking.
Yeah. I also checked that. And it is a 15-foot radius sphere, so it shouldn't catch anyone except for those 2 automata.
Awesome. Okay. Give me a second. Sure of something for a moment.
a spell has a range on it, is that cast at disadvantage if he's right in front of me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If it's a ranged spell attack, yeah.
All spell attacks are ranged.
Well, no,
Except for
there are
Thunder Wave.
there are absolutely melee spells. And if it's
all
like
of my spells.
if it's an area of effect, it wouldn't be. So like if it's a 15-foot cube or something,
Right,
it would also catch Ace most likely.
Or like mine, which was a dex save, so it doesn't have a range on it. It is, well, I mean, it does have a range, but no, that would still be at disadvantage. But you don't roll for it, so.
Sorry, I wanted excuse to use the wonderful decals also offered by Loki Battlemats to add to the map. Now come in magic effects, thanks to their successful little Towns and Taverns Kickstarter. But yes, so apart from then for you, Sepsis, the end of the carriage for everyone else is suddenly plunged into darkness.
Excellent.
This darkness is familiar to you. You've seen this occur before. It is an old spell of Sepsis's that he has used to help you previously against they have used to help you previously against the Beholder.
It's actually what I was planning on doing on my next go. Just cast darkness over them.
The benefit of this one is that I can see into it.
Yes.
The only other thing I'm doing as a bonus action, I'm just turning one of my first level spells into 2 sorcery points to replenish what I spent on that darkness. Okay. So that's my whole turn.
Cool.
I know it's a little bit less dynamic than you're used to from Sepsis, but that's what I got.
That's fine. Fives then. You could see Sepsis standing just in front of you, was leveling their firearm towards the end of the corridor as well, in an attempt to try and hit the automatons. Now, that having been made completely impossible, Fives is going to attempt to fire over Oriana's shoulder at the Inquisitor's assistant, who is still standing there.
Oriana's about to be deaf in one ear.
Okay. A second. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, he's going to make it a forceful shot. Okay. That's going to be a 25 to hit, which definitely hits. The Inquisitor's assistant is going to need to make a strength saving throw, which fails. Okay. So, first of all, Oriana, you are slightly deafened by the horrendous crash that comes over your left shoulder. You feel the passage of air, and just see out of the corner of your eye a quick black blur fly forward and take the Inquisitor's assistant in the shoulder. He is hit so forcefully by this shot, the bang behind you so loud, that you blink and you see that the Inquisitor's assistant has been pushed 15 feet away from you. Further down the corridor.
Thank you, Fives.
Until their slide is eventually arrested, standing next to Ace.
Oh no.
And
Ace can take a hit.
hey.
Thank you, Fives.
Fives looks messed up. No, not Fives, sorry. The Inquisitor's assistant. Fives hasn't been touched. The Inquisitor's assistant looks messed up. But it's back to the top of the round. Oriana.
I'm going to cast Shatter carefully so it doesn't affect Ace.
Okay.
So I need a Constitution saving throw.
Con saving throw. Okay.
That's
gonna be a 18.
If it's careful spell, that just means that Ace automatically succeeds the save.
He saves anyway.
Okay.
So Ace still takes half the damage, doesn't he?
Ace would take half the damage, but they're going to use their Shield Master reaction to decline to do that.
Decline that half damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I ever bother casting spells that require a save?
Yeah, if an effect allows half damage on success, you can use your reaction to take no damage.
I'm still going to then do a bonus action healing word on myself.
Okay.
They're both spells.
Yeah, you
One's
can't
an
do
action, one's a bonus action.
that. Yeah, but you
It's
can't
the
cast
spell and cantrip. It's not the. Yeah.
Never mind, Dan.
Okay.
No, okay, carry on. There's nothing I can do.
Cool. Okay. Oh, well, I need the damage from Shatter.
Oh yeah, he still takes half, doesn't he, even though he's saved?
Mm-hmm.
Could have got away with that then. I've got to find it again now. There it is. Ten.
10.
Yeah, I rolled 20.
Okay. So you rolled 20.
Yeah, so it's 10
Okay.
damage. You take half.
So the train carriage automatically fails the save.
Shatter effect. It's a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point.
A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage as if it's in the spell's area.
That's right. Yeah, it does. Whoops.
So,
Well,
Technically, the train is magical.
no, the train is not magical. The stones affixed to its four corners on the outside are magical.
yeah, but we're in the middle of the carriage, so you know there's rooms either side before the external part of the train is damaged. I may have
like a
busted open some
technicality.
spells.
As then,
Or on the other hand.
As then you see the Inquisitor's assistant rocked by the effects of your spell. I would also like you to roll me a d20. You also then see flaming boxes and bags next to him burst and crack. There's an explosion now in the flames of what seems like a fine powder, which starts to ignite as it fills the air like flour. And you remember the tales of your childhood, of what would go wrong if there was ever an open flame in the windmill. And even more fire now fills the area. You also start to see the floorboards below the Inquisitor's assistant and Ace start to crack and buckle. And you see a huge crack leading from the hole Dice punch through the lightning spell as they start to wind their way towards each other to meet in the middle.
Okay. So I can bonus action a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
So I can do control flame and put 1 5-foot of flame out. Because I can extinguish a flame. And
Is that a bonus action cantrip though? It needs to be a bonus action.
No, it's an
bonus
action.
Yeah.
I don't have any bonus action cantrips.
But do you have quicken spell? One of
I
your
do
meta
have quicken
magics?
spell, so I'll use that. I need to tick off all my surgery points now. Also, I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1.
Fuck.
Yes, but you carried on talking, so I don't know if it counts anymore.
It absolutely counts. Oriana, I'm going to need you to roll me percentile dice, please.
Not that bad. 30. I think I've had that before.
1 3.
30, 3-0.
3-0, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we're not crashing the train, we're just breaking bits off it. Come on now.
This is fantastic.
Alright, you don't like what's about to happen here.
I have concerns. I'm doing a concern.
Oriana,
What have I done?
you instantly teleport
Oh,
up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space. You can see.
Oh. Just outside the darkness.
Just outside the darkness, yeah?
Mm.
Okay, cool. So,
That's 60 feet, isn't it?
the wild magic sword burst out of you.
30. It's way less than 60,
In that
actually.
burst, you blink. You find yourself standing on the threshold of the magical darkness cast and controlled by Sepsis. Is that the end of your go?
Yes.
Okay. With that, then, at the end of your go, before we carry on to Aces, I desperately need to go somewhere that is not in front of a camera. And unfortunately, as a dungeon master, that makes running D&D quite difficult. And it is 5 to 9. So I know it's in the middle of a battle, and I'm really sorry to do this, but we're going to take a quick break, okay?
Don't forget the giveaway.
Yes, I know. It is going to be 10 to 15 minutes. All one word in capitals.
Daddy.
Answer no. Answer more than once, and you will be disqualified.
Kiba.
It's Kiba. Kiba is the word.
No. I would like, once the break has started, not beforehand, capital letters. If you want to be in with a chance of winning this lovely dice box.
This is far too long of a phrase.
And the beautiful dice in front, please type in fire train. And we will see you at 10 past. Catch you in a bit.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Waffle.
Goodbye, Waffle.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of episode 58 of the Chronicles of Nidum. Before we get back into the episode, sorry we took a break in the middle of
Fights.
Yeah, in the middle of a fight, but you know, nature calls and all that. But before we actually get back into it, Nightbot actually said who it was. Cool, Biggie, you have won.
Hey!
You have won once again. A beautiful set of dice and a lovely box to hold them and the other ones that you won from us in as well. Okay, so yeah, congratulations, Biggie. Thank you for being an awesome supporter of the channel and the community. But yeah, I'll get these dice along to you as soon as I possibly can. Please tune in next week for another chance to win another beautiful set of dice. And also remember to check out our Twitter at Beholder Dice, because this week I will be posting a gorgeous, much darker set, very much like Blink Dog's cappuccino dice that they've currently got on their Etsy store, but it's a much darker color intermixed with the white, and a dice bag to keep them in as well. Check out our Twitter, which is at Beholder Dice, for details of how to enter that competition this week. I'll keep you up to date tomorrow. But yes.
Going to apologise in advance if you hear any double sound between Greg and I. You're going to have to leave our doors open because this little idiot is being a nuisance at being separated
Okay.
from either of us.
Yeah,
No
he
problem.
doesn't like it.
Cool. Okay. So, next person's go after Oriana teleported was, if you can bring the battle map back up, please, Aiden. The next person's go is Ace.
Excellent. First off, is there anything that Ace can grab onto on the walls or in that door next to them? Anything like that?
Okay. Well, next to Ace, running the full length of this corridor, is shelving, scaffolding, which is attached to the ceiling and the floor. It's bolted on, so they can grab onto any of that, possibly climb onto any boxes that are next to them. There's lots of packed crates.
Okay. Ace is going to fling their shield onto one of those shelves.
Mm-hmm.
And make an attack, two-handed sort of overarm attack.
Okay.
With the hammer directly towards the floor at the feet of the Inquisitor. And
Well,
then,
if you want, then for a little bit of flavour, I had a conversation with M about this before, because obviously we've both been to LARP. We've both been shield users and been avid fans of the good old shield strap, which basically is like having, one of those loose holsters and a gun by your side. You just throw the shield back over your shoulder and it hangs there while you use a two-handed weapon. So they don't need to effectively disarm themselves of their shield. They just pop it over their back. That's
okay.
fine.
Yeah, that's, I mean, either way. But they're going to try and basically break open the floor of the carriage at the feet of the Inquisitor.
Ooh, okay.
And then attempt to grab hold of something nearby.
All right. Okay, cool. So roll to hit the floor, I suppose.
Is it an advantage on the basis of it's the floor?
And it's definitely prone.
Yeah.
It's a melee attack. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that is a 19.
A 19 does definitely hit.
The floor?
It's a floor. I would like you to roll me for the damage. Remember, Ace does have the Patron's Gift, where they can add an additional d6 lightning damage. I think it's 3 times a day.
I don't think it's going to be necessary.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm going to use a 3rd level smite.
Okay, all right.
That is...
You were destructive today.
1d8, 1d6. I actually don't have enough d8s on my desk.
Oh no.
That's alright, I've got a big drawer of dice over here. So definitely more d8s. There we go. 3... Hang on. 3rd level smite is going to be how many? Divine smite. So it's 2d8 for 1st level.
Mm-hmm.
That's a d10. That's sort of cheating.
And an additional d8 then for every level above.
Yeah.
Every level of spell used.
I still don't have enough d8s. There's another one.
Okay.
Do you want me to bring some into you?
No, I got it. Okay. That's an 8. 12. 15. 16. 19. 21 plus 6 is 27, I want to say.
Okay. So, Ace brings the hammer down, two-handed, a huge smash. The Inquisitor's assistant, shock and pain in his face, attempts to dodge out of the way, realizes too late his mistake as he takes a step to the side, not realizing that the hammer was never intended to hit him. He steps 1 foot on either side of the growing crack, just as the hammer goes straight through the floor. An almighty explosion of electric, static, crackling energy, causing the splinters of the wood and metal to fly down and burst out. You see below you the rushing ground. As you hear above, cracks begin, louder and louder as they come. This train is coming apart. It is splitting straight down the middle. The Inquisitor's assistant rolls a dexterity saving throw.
What'd you roll, Bray?
It's a natural one.
Oh, but I want to make sure this guy's dead.
His foot slips. He takes a tumble. His hands trying to catch him as he falls. They plant themselves in burning embers that have fallen from the packing crates on either side. He immediately recoils in pain. And in a second, in the blink of an eye, with the whipping motion and the speed of the train, he is gone. And you hear a, ah!
Thunk, 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 thunk.
He's gone.
I miss him already.
Okay.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to make sure he was dead.
Hey, the train is falling apart. Is that the end of Ace's go?
No. Ace is going to dash into the darkness and use their second attack against the automaton closest to them.
Okay. Remembering where they were then, still rolling with disadvantage, obviously, because it's magical darkness, but yes. Give me a second. So,
I really enjoyed the as he fell.
no longer there.
Should have been a wild scream. I agree with you.
Oh.
I hadn't learned what that was 2 years ago.
I really wanted to burn his other eye out.
Mm.
At disadvantage, I rolled 2 18s.
Okay.
Does a 28 hit one of the automata?
Definitely does, yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Well, might as well use the third level slots while we've got them. Let's do another third level Divine Smite. Means I've got to find all the d8s again.
What on earth is that?
Yeah, what was that?
Was a YouTuber that I was watching earlier. I turned on the break. I turned my phone back on, and it was green.
He's so bored by Ace destroying the train carriage that
This
she's...
dog has been fussing and fussing and fussing, and when I wouldn't fuss him, you'd see him walk into Greg's room, and then he'd come back to me. He wanted me to put some of the blanket I've got on my lap on the floor so he could lie down, because the carpet isn't comfy enough.
He is
Little princess.
He is that.
Spoilt.
Okay. 7, 12, 16, 19, no, 21, 28, 36 damage to that automaton.
Okay. Well, so you do 36 damage.
Yep.
Give me a second. I just want to check. Oriana originally did 25 with the fireball.
I don't remember what I did 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Ace then feels, again, two-handed swing, feels almost no resistance past the first strike of the hammer as it hits the metal of the automaton. It slices, which is strange for a hammer, but it slices through the automaton almost like butter, ripping straight through the metal, straight through the middle of the body, and the automaton clatters in 2 pieces to the ground. It is dead.
Excellent. I think Ace probably still has 5 feet of movement, so they will move across and try to use their shove against the other automaton.
Okay. So unslinging the shield back off their shoulder, and I'm gonna need well, they're there, still disadvantage, I suppose.
Yeah, I would
to
say.
try and...
I would say disadvantage, but does the automaton also get disadvantage because they can't see it coming?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Rolled a 15 and a 14, so that's a 27.
Oh, okay. I got a 25, but yeah. So
get fucked.
Okay, so prone or knockback?
Knocked back.
Knocked back. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Ace moves then. That one is decimated. Ace moves across, shoving this one out of the magical darkness. However, it can't really see anyone now because it's hiding, or it's being shoved behind a load of packed shelves. So it is shoved into a completely useless space. It is now...
It's the Inquisitor's turn. The Inquisitor's assistant, rather.
Nice.
Unfortunately,
You're up.
Jelly.
Right, how severe is the split in the carriage now? Like, is it leaning away? What's going on with it? Like, is there a support structure? I can see a beam that should be connected that isn't underneath it, where the floor's been damaged. What's going on?
As you look down then, well, as you look up, you can feel above you the two parts of the roof start to buckle and split away from each other. You can feel... In fact, roll me a perception check with advantage because of what you're looking at, or what you did look at when you were studying the train from the outside.
Okay. Perception check. Where's my d20 gone? Oh, it's over here. Okay. That is excellent. That is a 23.
23. Okay. The center of the train are effectively held together by quite artistically hidden metal bands. They are thin. The ends of the train are a lot more heavily reinforced. As you are looking at the split or the rend start to open in the ceiling above you, and the ever-growing hole start to split in the floor, you glance at either end of the train, or at least the end now you can see, and it still seems to be holding firm. But it's almost acting as if... So you got a bamboo stick, and you split it in the middle and then forced the ends together, and it just started to split out like that. And it is getting progressively worse and worse. There is currently maybe a 4-foot hole at its worst in the floor, right at the center of the split. But that is growing in size, and the split, as it runs up and down, the carriage is getting bigger as well.
What I'm looking for is something like a cracked support beam, or a cracked, literally the thing that is supposed to hold the floor together. That
Okay.
bit.
You can see those. They're down the bottom. They are the metal, effectively, support axles that were holding the train floor together. They've been... You blasted straight through one with a arcane lightning bolt.
Yeah.
There are bits missing.
Okay. What's the gap between the two ends of the narrowest one?
Couple of feet.
It's too big. I can't fix it. I can't fix it if it's over a foot.
You can use mending to stop the narrowest part of the gap getting any worse, to try and...
That's why I asked about the narrowest gap. I was looking, you said it was a couple of feet.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the wood on the inside.
That's going to do fuck all if half a carriage is falling off and it's got weight against it. It's like throwing a needle into the wind and then going, where's it gone?
Okay.
Might hold it for a round or two.
Yeah, but is it going to be worth it? Or can I do better? Okay. No, I don't think there's a great deal I can do. I'm going to use mending on the narrowest point that I can see to see if I can hold that together for long enough for. And I can only cast it once in one round. I can't cast it, even though it's a cantrip. I can't just sit there going ding, 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 which I could do if we weren't in combat.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I can do to try and stop it falling apart.
So you hop down from the ceiling onto the floor and start to try and hold what you can together with mending.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a constant casting of mending. That's fine. Okay.
Trying to give Ace a shot.
The robot that has been knocked then out of the darkness is going to step back into the darkness and attempt to make a swing against Ace. Or against whoever struck them with their shield, hoping that they're still standing exactly where they were. That's going to be a 19 to hit, which I know does not.
Does not hit.
Okay. And then also on the second one, that's going to be a 10 to hit.
That certainly doesn't hit.
No. So yes, that's 2 strikes. Ace kind of can hear the swish of the automaton's arm blade trying to slice through the darkness ahead of them, but still cannot see anything. Sepsis, it's your go.
Who has all the magic items that we found? That's a shame. Oh well, you're next to me. Do you mind if I reach into the bag of holding?
Go nuts. It's on my back where it always is, so I can't see why not.
Excellent.
Give me a moment.
It's rearranging us. Excuse me pulling weird faces, by the way. I have orange in my teeth.
Fair enough.
So you're going to move up to dice.
Yes, I'm going to take an item out of the bag of holding.
Hey, what item are you going to take out of the bag of holding?
That will become clear very shortly.
Okay.
I am going to then use bonus action Misty Step to appear just in front of that automaton next to Ace.
Okay.
And then I am going to reach out to the automaton, say, "Excuse me, could you hold this for me for a second?" and press the button on the immovable rod.
Okay.
That'll do it.
It's fun with physics today, Bri.
I'm with physics.
Right, hang on. Okay, so you appear in front of the automaton. You hold out your hand.
Yes.
Does not take the immovable rod from you.
I mean, surely I should roll something to see if I can
You could-
convince him to.
Probably jam it in his inner workings.
I'd rather deceive him into taking it. You know, like when someone offers you something and sometimes you just reflexively
You
take it.
automatically, yeah. Okay.
It's a deception thing, you know.
Okay. I would like you to roll me a.
Persuasion?
I'd rather roll deception.
You're not really deceiving him into doing anything, though. You're just
Like
asking
persuading him
him
to
to do something.
I'll take persuasion.
I would like a persuasion check, then, please.
I'm going to use my I'm going to use my my inspiration. To
Rule
roll.
of cool, just because I want to describe what's about to happen.
Yeah.
You can use.
I want to use my inspiration to roll with advantage.
Cool.
In this case.
Go for it.
Excellent. That is an 18.
An 18 in total?
Yes.
Okay. So. He falters for a moment and looks down, reaches out for the immovable rod just as you press the button and let go. He becomes a fixed point in space. The train is not a fixed point in space and continues to move. Give me a second.
Now we're thinking with portals.
Okay. Is the darkness still up, by the way, Sepsis?
It is, yes.
Okay. So you are the only one who can see this. As the immovable rod is, from your point of view, shoved hard at incredible speed into the chest of the automaton. As it is in the automaton's hand, some magic or wonder of the hydraulics or pistons in his elbow cushion the blow, and instead of going straight through the automaton, they cause the automaton to move straight through the rear wall of the carriage. You continue to watch as explosions of boxes, explosions of goods, food, livestock. You can hear the screams of cows and pigs as they are obliterated in the rear carriages by what is now effectively a crumpled mass of jagged metal hurtling through the walls of all of the rear carriages until with a final explosion and a dying down of all of the sound around you, apart from the flickering flame in your carriage, you do believe, at least, that the automaton and the immovable rod have finally exited the rear of the train.
Excellent.
So we've gone from destroying one carriage to destroying the rest of the train from this point back.
Only Sepsis knows this is just a good.
Sepsis, you want to drop darkness?
Is that the end of your go, Sepsis?
Yeah, I would also stop concentrating on darkness.
Okay. So you've all heard the cacophony of grinding and exploding noises.
I want to drop it just before he disappears out of sight.
Okay. And as you drop it, you can see the damage that Sepsis's plan with the immovable rod has wrought. You are, as far as you're aware now, completely alone in the carriage.
We definitely made a lot of noise.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should grab your friend and we should leave right now.
Head back to our room?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Probably... I'm going to run to Lester and try and wake her up.
Lester or Luster?
Lester. Lester.
Okay.
Ollie is running all the way to Leicester.
The train carriage is still falling apart.
Oh, that's fine. We're just leaving.
That's fine. Yeah, we're going to leave.
Okay. So you're going to grab Lester. Lester
Ace will pick Luster up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ace picks Lester up. Lester is conscious enough that she smiles at Ace and then kind of recoils at how shiny they are and catches your eye, Oriana, and nods in thanks and just kind of curls into a ball in Ace's arms.
I need you to transform before we leave this carriage.
I do not think that I can.
No, it's okay. I'm going to cast invisibility on Luster.
Cool.
Okay.
I throw up my disguise self.
Cool.
And head back to our carriage.
Okay.
I'm going to put my helmet over automaton-like.
Cool. So you leave the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Close the door behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you close the door behind you and start walking back apart through the corridors of the human slave cages, you hear an almighty metallic tear from behind, slightly muffled by the interior of the train you're in. And you are jostled, as if the train you're in has suddenly sped up, as if for some reason it doesn't have a substantial amount of weight hanging on its back anymore.
Oriana, I think you might want to message Natasha and let her know about what's just happened.
Yeah, I will on the way. Let's keep going. Because the sooner we can get back and out of the way and be oblivious to anything has happened. Or if we come across someone, what we say now is we heard a crash and the train suddenly sped up even more, and we got a little concerned for our safety.
Yes, Mill?
And by say us, I mean me and Sepsis do the talking.
I mean, I'm an automaton. You don't have to clarify that. I'm not. There's no need to specify.
I'm just pointing out that Sepsis and I are the best at lying.
Oh, well, that actually makes a lot more sense. I thought you were just being like, you're not allowed to say words.
I agree with Oriana, except for the bit where she said, and I.
You're really
Okay.
today.
Are you
right.
messaging? Sorry, are you messaging Natasha?
I still have the question I wanted to ask earlier.
Yeah, sorry. I thought, yeah.
It was, which carriages did we lose? How many carriages did we lose? Dice knew the train better than anyone for this length. So what did we lose off the back of it?
Oh, there were about 6 carriages
All
lost in
storage?
total.
All storage?
All storage.
Thank God for that. Okay.
You didn't lose any of the human carriages.
Well, I did.
You can't get rid of the
I
battle
did
map
make
now,
some
sorry.
hamburger.
Breed some livestock.
I have wanted to do that with the immovable rod ever since we got on this train.
Don't understand how it works, but you can explain it to me later.
Well,
No, later.
Okay.
Explain it to me later, because I'll have questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna sending to Natasha,
Okay.
just saying.
As you are
May have
making
hit a
your way up
crash.
the train and using your magic to try and do the spell, the carriage door in front of you opens, and a familiar red-headed half-orc steps into the carriage.
Darling!
What have you done?
We had a friend in need, and we are one bastard down.
About 6 storage carriages.
And six carriages, yeah. But they were all livestock and storage. None of the humans have been hurt.
And you take the train now.
I mean, honestly, we were planning to leave it because we're now really, like, low on abilities.
We were gonna play dumb.
I am not low on abilities, and I think I could probably get to the. Engine compartment.
I mean, now's as good a time as any.
We do still have an Inquisitor to deal with, but
I'm not sure I have the ability to deal with that right now, Sepsis. I'm really not that
No, neither am I.
strong anymore. You could just toss another fireball in the room with him.
toss the whole necklace in.
I would burn him.
Okay, so kind of like half hour ago, you were really concerned about possible innocent lives on this train, and now you want me to throw this entire necklace at one dude. You just saw what one bead does.
I said it would burn him. I didn't say it was a good idea.
It would possibly destroy the train from the second carriage back. That doesn't seem like
with us on it.
Ideal. But we could almost certainly get to the engine compartment and take control of the train.
Aren't we still days away from the capital?
Weeks.
Weeks away.
Wouldn't it be better to play dumb?
I think we're better off playing dumb right now.
Have no idea what happened. Return to the carriage and
act like concerned citizens.
Try and remove some more of the guards along the way. One at a time.
Sure, I mean it doesn't save the humans.
Not yet, no, but I thought we were going to do that when we were closer to the capital anyway.
Nata, wasn't there a specific location you wanted to do this in? Here is not it, I think.
Just after our last refueling stop.
Exactly. We can still play dumb and get away with this.
Will the train continue as normal with the last several cargo carriages lost?
Perhaps we are one day away from our first refueling stop, so if you can lie your way through tonight, I believe we should be okay.
We can do that. Well, I can't, but they can.
We've been here all along. I don't know what we would have to lie about.
Go now. Someone will soon come back to check.
And if anyone asks, we don't know. Maybe it was bandits since they took the storage.
Perhaps.
A great train robbery.
Anyway, let's go.
As we walk past, I just go, there were reasons, really good reasons. And I go.
It's late enough at night now that there are very few people in the corridors. The only ones you can see are housekeeping, waiting staff being called on late at night for a snack. They seem slightly confused. They don't seem alarmed at the jostle of the train. Apparently they're used to a train jostling when it's being driven by 3 angry goblins. And without any incident, you get back to the carriage.
In fairness, something that happens on a train does have to be pretty fucking loud to be heard more than 2 carriages forward from it.
I would, however, like everyone to roll me a perception check.
Love to. That's my favorite kind of check.
12. Yeah, we're done with the battle map aid. Thank you.
I did say.
You did. 22.
I can't beat that.
Me too? Okay. Dice. 22. It takes you a moment once you've settled back in the carriage. The stress of possibly being caught weighing heavily on all of you, but it takes you a moment to settle your breathing. And that, once your breathing comes under your control, you notice the train is slowing. You feel the juddering vibrations that subsided as the train sped up. You feel those starting to grow now. And the train is definitely slowing down to a stop.
Do you communicate this to us, Dice?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna, if we're back in the carriage, I'm gonna immediately see through Worm's eyes.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so you immediately see through Worm's eyes, hear through his senses. All 3 goblins are awake now. They are shouting at each other. It is in Pigeon, Goblin / Shalem. It takes you a while to work out which has the more creative insults. But as they shout at each other, they are working quite hastily to get the train under control. You now notice there is a different panel lit up. Yeah, is it energized? There are small crystals in a row. There are normally, or currently they're in a row, signifying, and you can see one that glows green, the same color as the control panel. And then there are a further 10 behind it. There are also another 6 glowing crystals that seem to be flashing red and then off. And then a few more just completely dark ones behind that don't seem to be energized at this time.
Right. So I would assume that those represent the carriages, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So
the 6 blinking ones being the 6 that you've just lost.
So they know they've lost a bunch of carriages, and are they bringing the train to a halt, like deliberately?
They are deliberately bringing the train to a halt to find out why.
I'll come back into myself.
Okay.
So it appears that in the engine compartment, they have a way of monitoring the status of all the carriages. So they have noticed that several of the carriages are gone.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then they're going to be investigating fairly quickly, I would think. Our best bet is to
Lay
hide.
low.
Well, we need to hide one and Lester, you said?
Leicester.
One belongs on the train, doesn't it? Don't
Yeah.
It should be in storage.
No, one is a
No,
registered. One is a
Leicester
registered
has a
passenger.
ticket.
they? Yeah, one has a ticket.
One is arrested. Yeah, and Leicester just needs enough energy to be able to transform again.
I can
Or
keep them hidden
we
for
just-
now.
Could we just stuff her under one of the beds?
That's what I was thinking. Actually, just hide
Yeah.
her while she
Yeah.
rests. Probably not stuff her, sepsis.
I
That's
think-
a bit hard.
I think the main authority figure with the ability to see invisible people is a few miles behind us now.
Possibly dead.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
They were pretty injured when they fell.
Mm.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Luster,
Okay.
just to try and give them a little bit more energy.
Okay.
You want to save the spell slot and have Ace use some of their lay on hands pool instead?
It's done. It's fine. It's 10. I didn't think to ask, and I said I'd do it, so it's okay.
Fair enough. Does Luster have any like visible very bad injuries or anything like, or is it just the whipping and everything?
Leicester, yes, the whip seemed to be, as you noticed, covered in or emanating a cold energy, but was also barbed. So Leicester's skin is torn in some places, and it also, some of it looks frostbitten.
And is there any chance, because we Ace, I guess, would know that the Inquisitor's assistant had a poisoned sword.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Luster, does Ace get the impression that they would be that they might be poisoned by the?
There is a sheen of sweat on their
Okay.
head from possible overexertion, but also possibly fighting the effects of a poison.
Okay, so Ace will use 5 hit points of lay on hands then to neutralize poison.
Excellent. As Ace then touches Luster, Ace's hands do burn. Red hot. There is a painful sensation as they touch Luster, but then that completely subsides, disappears, and is replaced by a cool, soothing sensation as the lay on hands pool floods into Luster.
Oh, it's just like when you put Savlon on.
Yeah, deep heat, and basically, you see the sheen of sweat start to dry up almost immediately from Luster's face, and instead of being a pale, almost pink red, the burning scarlet of Luster's skin returns with full vigor, and she smiles at Ace and the room. Thank you. That poison was a difficult one to shrug off. But I think now, with it gone, this is much simpler. And she immediately changes into the beautiful elven woman that she was when you first met her, Oriana.
Still going to be pretty hard to explain to the guards why she's here if they come by.
I've been seen with her. It's a bit obvious that something's going on between the two of us. She could have come to visit me.
Why would she be back here in steerage? Does she want you to paint her like one of your French girls?
You know, us highborn ladies always fancy a bit of rough once in a while.
It works, Sepsis. Don't worry about it.
In this carriage with all of your friends?
I could just be introducing her to some new flavors.
Automatons.
It's a succubus, guys. Stop looking surprised.
She just smiles at Ace at the new flavors comment.
Ace
Ace
blushes.
is horrified.
Ace looks away.
Ace blushes to their toes.
I lean over and went, not that one. That one's
different.
Really, you're not their type.
Ah,
They've got a dandelion.
How cute.
It's a little bit sickening sometimes.
It's at that moment when this conversation and the healing that has gone on that you do actually all then feel the train come to a full stop. Almost immediately, you start to hear movement in the carriages around you in the corridor outside. You hear a loud bang as Fives seems to step into the cabin door to move out of people's way. You start to hear raised voices. And as the minutes go by, the voices raise back up, then calm, then raise again, as not very few people are getting any answers. You see lights, torches lit, at least one magical light source just hovering in the air outside the windows. But apart from that, all is darkness.
I open our door and stick my head out and sort of look around, just sort of playing the part of someone, a confused passenger.
Yeah, rubbernecking.
There are a great many passengers all outside. The Dragonborn, the Tritons from the carriage that you know is just a few doors down, are kind of standing outside, or in at least the corridor. They've opened the windows on the side and are kind of popping their head out, trying to look up and down the train to see what's going on.
Anyone know what's happened?
The Dragonborn woman, the older Dragonborn woman, turns to you.
It appears, dear, that the train has broken.
Oh.
So I don't quite know what to make of it. But yes, we've lost a train.
We've lost a train.
Is this typical?
Oh, hello, little one. No.
I don't do a lot of travel by train, so I don't know how often they break down.
Oh, in all of the many times I have traveled by lizard pulled or floating land train, I can count on no.
How bizarre.
Never happened before.
Bizarre. How bizarre.
Whoever's in charge of this train service should be put in charge of all train services, especially ones local to me.
You start to hear in the heavily accented Shalem from either end of the carriage, the elves start to ask everyone to return to their cabins. Someone will be along shortly to explain what's going on. And the older Dragonborn woman kind of nods and smiles at you, and then makes their way back into the carriage.
Yeah, I do the same. I'm like, oh, okay, go back in. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
When Ori comes back in, I'm just going to turn to one and go, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to take that cloak back for a minute, so you look sort of hard done by and sad, but I promise I'll give it back in a minute, okay? And I'm going to make one look a little bit more bedraggled and slave-like, rather than the perfectly person.
I sort of plan on not letting them come in the carriage.
I bet they will anyway.
I am going to hide in somewhere else. If someone else on this train knows what I am, and they're the ones coming, then perhaps your lie will be more easily seen through.
Stay safe.
I will try.
Don't get into a mess again. We're not breaking any more of the train for you, okay?
She pauses a moment at the threshold of the cabin and stares back at you all. It is rare in my history that a deal is made which is entirely one-sided, or a demon owes a favor having asked for nothing in return. but being given it freely anyway. I owe you all. And I will never forget that.
I'll contact you if I need you.
I would hope you'd contact me anyway. And with a wink, she just walks out of the cabin door and closes it behind her.
Do I need therapy? Am I picking partners in a really weird way?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You found them attractive. They found you attractive. Isn't that how it's supposed to work?
Yeah, I guess.
Does
I'm
that-
not sure most of them almost getting killed is normal.
I mean, yes, but the circumstances we find ourselves in people around us tend to do that regardless.
I think, I think it is a circumstantial thing. Our life is high risk at the moment, and so too are the partners that you meet. And let's be honest, the only girlfriend I've had any time in the last years is currently on the run and has no home. So you're not the only one who screws things up and leaves people, falling apart.
Screw up, Dice.
I didn't screw
Awkward
up.
silence.
Sorry. You're not the only one who the elves screw things up for. Yeah. I'm
So
going
you
to
sit and wait to find out.
I'm going to stand in the corner and look automaton like.
Hey, did you guys see the thing with the immovable rod, though? That was pretty fun.
Yeah, actually, no.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yes, what happened? What did you do?
I said, hey, can you hold this? And then I clicked the immovable rod in, and he went away.
Yeah, that's how we lost the rest of the train.
No, the rest of the train was going anyway.
Yeah, all right.
So just to confirm, how many movable rods do you have left? Is it one now?
Yeah, I think we had 2, didn't we?
You had 2. You recovered them both in the Beholder's Lair from that door. And then, yes, so you've got 1 left. Okay, I was just from my list. That's fine.
Sepsis owes the party one immovable rod.
Worth it.
It was so worth it.
The party is not unhappy. Speaking on behalf of the party, we're not unhappy.
This is when I'm sad that we're not doing the coolest moment XP thing that we did in the previous campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I should contend for the lightning bolt through the head.
The lightning bolt through the head was pretty awesome as well, actually. There's a lot of contenders.
Okay.
Go on.
But as you discuss then what has recently transpired, with most of your passives, a lot of you do notice then that outside the train, outside your cabin door, there are a great many feet. There is one set that walks seemingly with purpose, quite loudly, straight past your cabin. A few minutes later, comes back, pauses outside your cabin door.
We fall silent.
No, don't. Carry on talking like we're normal.
Yeah, but like normal things. Hey, look at this book. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Then-
several cabbages.
And then walks away again, back towards first class.
You
A
know,
minute later, your door is knocked.
I answer it.
Standing before you is one of the elven waiters or train guards. Bonjour. Sorry for the trouble and the inconvenience of this evening. Please, I will have to inquire, who is the owner of the automaton here?
That would be me.
We are.
Oh, we
part owners.
co-own it.
Yes.
I have been asked to inquire after the owner of the automaton so that they may accompany me to the dining carriage for a meeting with a first-class passenger.
Just the
think-
automaton or the owner?
The automaton is supposed to follow, but the owners and any entourage they wish to bring.
May I ask why?
I have surmised from the request from the passenger that there is a business opportunity.
I'm confused. Obviously, there is a lot to do. What is going on with the train, but as far as I'm aware, they want to ask for your services.
That's fine. I will bring Fives, my automaton, along. Sepsis, would you like to bring? And I point to Dice. That
Yes,
one
I would.
along.
Yes, I think that would make sense.
Then please follow me. Okay.
In step with Fives up the corridor.
Cool. So the four of you go, leaving Dice and one back in the carriage.
Leaving
sorry, Ace and one. Sorry, Ace and one. I apologize. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you walk into the carriage. Sitting there, flanked by 3 train guards, now slightly more heavily armored than you have seen them up until this moment. No metal or plate, but leather, boiled breastplates. Sitting in front of them at a table, lounging, alone this time. No entourage, no guards to speak of, but looking as supremely confident as he did previously, is the Inquisitor.
I'm a little bit sick in my mouth.
He looks up, again, starts at the feet, works his way up your body, and deigns to smile slightly at you.
Right. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is an Inquisitor, like, do they have, like, regalia that a member, like a person from the Empire would recognize them, like, would know their rank to look at them, or would you have to have been introduced to them?
Roll me a perception check.
Oh, perception. 14.
14?
Yeah.
Okay. The Inquisitor is dressed in a black cloak, heavy but incredibly expensive, very well made. There appears to be a very, very faint but beautiful silver pattern running through it. You can't really tell whether it's runes. There seems to be an infernal pattern in there, slipping into a mandala. It shimmers and shifts and changes. He wears black leather clothing, nondescript. The pattern of silver on his cloak itself is almost invisible. There is one thing on his person that stands out and does not fit with the rest of the work or the rest of his clothing. There is a pin, small, holding the cloak together, and it is of an eye, made of gold. The center of the eye seems to have been painted with a darker black than any item of his clothing, Vanta black, or blackest black. As you stare at the pin, you almost feel like there is a void in the center of it. There is nothing.
And, like, would it be fair to assume that this is something that only an Inquisitor would wear? Okay. It's just, this is just for context, like how much Sepsis would be could appear to know without seeming suspicious, sort of thing. So I think Sepsis, while Ori's being sick in her mouth, Sepsis will bow quite elaborately and
I nod my head.
say, "My Lord Inquisitor, it is a grand honor to be brought into your presence."
I suppose it is for most people, yes. You have heard of me, then?
No, but I'm not an ignorant enough rube to fail to recognize one of your station.
Wonderful. then our conversation will be made much easier. I find it, especially in the countryside, much more difficult to have an understanding with people when I want something. Conversations and transactions tend to go on a lot longer than they should.
Indeed.
How is it that we can serve you, my lord?
I appear to have misplaced my entourage.
Good help is so hard to find.
Yes, but you seem to have found, or at least purchased somewhere, one of our early military models. I will not requisition fives. Of course, it is the backbone of the empire. Capitalism, commerce. He is yours, fair and square. I suppose you, of course, have the papers for him.
I'm certain that we do somewhere.
Wonderful. Well, upon presentation of those, he, of course, will be given back to you and you'll not be arrested on the spot. But until then, I need you to pass his command over to me. At least until we get to Paras.
I'm sure that would be our pleasure, would it not, Ari?
Of course, it's the least we could do.
Everybody stop. What is everyone thinking of right now? Sepsis, what are you thinking about? What is Sepsis thinking about right now?
I'm thinking that having fives close to the Inquisitor would be very useful.
Oriana, what is it you thinking about right now?
I want to kill him, 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 I want to kill him.
Okay. Dice, what are you thinking about right now?
Don't touch my shit.
I'm a better automaton. I'm slimline. I'm better built. I would really fit through doors better. I mean, on the whole, I just think it would be a better shout. Of course, I wouldn't really want to stand in the corner all day. That would be really unfortunate. But if five's going to be okay, that's probably fine.
Okay.
Literally, stream of consciousness thoughts.
Okay. I need everyone to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh shit.
We should have brought Ace.
We really should have done. If anything explodes, Ace will come running. Why have I got one D20? Where's my other D? Oh, I'm holding it. Oh, it's okay. It's good.
Oh, is this against a spell or magical effect?
It is.
Thank goodness.
Oh, it's crap. Okay.
Well, it's still bad, but it's not a natural one, so 12.
I'm going to use Flash of Genius on myself.
Okay.
Which would give me 18. And it was +5, so it was only 13.
Oriana?
16. Also, Sepsis, you called me by my real name.
I'm sure that in character I didn't. That was an out of character slip.
But yeah, 16.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much, Ori's mind is very much, I don't like him. He makes me uncomfortable. I don't want him touching my stuff. I don't like him. I want him gone.
That seems like a mistake that I would make, but Sepsis wouldn't, if you get me.
Yeah.
What was yours, Sepsis? 12?
12, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about the Inquisitor, Sepsis? Truly.
How does Sepsis feel about the Inquisitor?
Mm-hmm.
Not strongly. Sepsis probably sees the Inquisitor as just another elf, and a powerful one that probably has information that would be useful, one that could be very dangerous to us. But everything that makes everyone else dislike the Inquisitor doesn't really affect Sepsis. So
okay.
Is he casting a spell to do this?
Yeah, he's doing detect thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Could I counterspell it?
I assume it has verbal and somatic components. You'd have to move and make it pretty obvious what it's doing.
Yeah, it might be more dangerous to counterspell it than not.
Yeah, all right.
Spell has already been cast, though.
Yeah.
You didn't see him cast it. You didn't hear him cast it. But it does have a
no, it's fine.
duration. Okay. You do feel, all of you, that he's probing into your minds. Dice, Oriana, you just managed to shrug it off. Oriana reeling at what you could have possibly been thinking at the time. Your brain goes from, I want to kill him, 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 to, oh my God, what was I thinking just 5 seconds ago? Oh, did he hear that?
I want to kill him more.
Sepsis.
Mhm.
You hear your thoughts, you feel your mind being penetrated by this spell. You feel
Someone playing the old trick on you.
the Inquisitor going deeper. But all the Inquisitor finds from you is a lust for power, a lust for answers, knowledge, a fear of something hidden that is gone, that could return. But mainly a kindred spirit.
Oh. I don't like that at all.
Oh, you're going to be
And
friends?
the Inquisitor pulls back from your mind. So, I'm glad we could come to this accord. Does your automaton have a designation?
5s.
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 Quaint. Do we know how many 5s are in his designation?
3.
Automaton 555 will do. If that is all.
No, that's perfect. I turn to 5s and just say, you serve the Inquisitor until we reach the capital and I'll come collect you.
5s is like stone, like a statue, is not moving at all.
No,
Doesn't register that you've spoken.
So 5s has stood behind me. I've turned my back to the Inquisitor to do this, and I'm trying to make it as clear as possible on my face that I'm sorry, I don't want to do this.
5s looks down very slowly. Featureless faceplate. You can almost feel his eyes boring into you. And then nods once and goes to stand behind the Inquisitor. Excellent. Lovely. An older model, but still easy to command.
Indeed.
If only people were so.
Would that they were. It is our eternal honor and pleasure to serve the Inquisition.
I was going to drink alone tonight, raise a glass to an old friend I've recently lost. Could I trouble you? I'm sorry, I didn't take your name. And he's looking at Sepsis.
Oh, my name is Jaundice.
How apt. Could I trouble you to keep me company, at least for one drink? There was something I wished to ask you.
I would be flattered.
Then if the rest of you have nothing further to say.
Only to ask if I was still having lunch with Rosette tomorrow.
We shall see. Lunch tomorrow, I believe, will be taken in our first stop.
Ah.
I prefer Rosette to be close by. I was not planning on leaving the train. However, I suppose as long as she returns, and he stares at you.
Why wouldn't she?
Then I see no harm in a short trip into the town.
Thank you, my lord. And I courtesy and then turn to leave. And I gesture to Dice. Come on, you.
I just turn and follow.
As soon as we're earshot away from the carriage, I'm like, I'm going to burn his eyes out of his skull.
I think Clive would appreciate that. He's going to be super unhappy.
So, jaundice?
Yes, my lord.
Your friend has a temper, doesn't she?
It's in her. It's a part of her inheritance, I believe.
I have been told once or twice about the older generation still having that infernal fire in them. I had not yet thought to meet one so far removed from the fiend with that much spice.
Indeed.
I'm in two minds whether to leave it there or beat it out of her. But, no. She has rebuffed my advances. See how life in Paras treats her. They all remember the offer. Knock on the door eventually.
Sometimes her pride causes her not to act in her own best interest, I feel.
Yes. Tell her in polite high society, as a favor from me, she should mind her thoughts.
My lord?
Errors. Your thoughts, all of you. You travel to a city where people trade information stolen without your knowledge from you to others for a great deal of money or favor.
Sansis leans in as if hearing very interesting information for the first time. Do you mean to tell me, my Lord Inquisitor, that even one's own thoughts are not safe?
He points to himself. Oh, one's own. Ah. Yours, perhaps, would not be. Stronger mental defenses.
I've never heard of anything like this.
There are spells, magics, arcane knowledge that can help someone break into the inner workings of another's mind. Learn enough of them and you can end up controlling the other. I prefer to do it through fear, but the power is there if I need it. I say fear. I misspoke. I apologize. I meant unwavering respect.
Yes. The influence of the powerful.
There are only two in the Inquisition, higher than I. And even they are getting old.
I'm certain that that state of affairs will not continue forever, my lord.
No.
You strike me as an ambitious man.
I am, but unfortunately, I seem to be an ambitious man without tools. I have a great many thoughts, a great many plans, and a great many ambitions, but no pen to put to paper, no sword to take into battle. They have their, and he looks at you pointedly at this point, at this moment, they have their fingers in a great many pies, if their fingers were to be removed, they would be much more susceptible to the ravages of age. When we get to Paras, if I have noticed the thing in you that dwells in others that I like to call acquaintances, then please visit my estate. We can talk more about fingers and pies.
I am humbled to be considered worthy of such an invitation, my lord. And I only hope that I can be as useful to you as you suspect.
From what I have seen already, so do I. But yes, thank you for taking a moment.
My lord.
The next time we meet, I will know if you have spoken to anyone of this, and will have you killed on the spot.
I would expect no less.
Wonderful. See what I mean? Understanding. So rare in the countryside these days. And he rises, taps repeatedly a little rhythm on Five's chest as he walks past him. And Five's, glancing at you, turns slowly to follow. And he leaves the dining carriage.
I don't see. When you say a little rhythm, I don't notice anything strange about it, or.
No, it's just a rat da 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 da
Right.
rat da 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 da.
Okay. Okay.
It's almost like a tick. He doesn't even notice he's doing it.
Okay.
And as that tick begins, your fingers start to flex and cramp and shake with a familiar tension. And you realize it has been a long time since Felder, and your tea is very soon going to run out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I want to drink.
Okay. Okay. The barman is still there, noticing that even though he said he was going to stay for a drink, did not order one, did not call the barman over. The barman did not think to impose, probably better for his health. And now he's gone. Notices you still sitting there, and he does come over. Monsieur, can I get you anything? Of
Yes,
course, it is on the house. It is bought and paid for already by the Inquisitor.
Thank you. I would like a large glass, or I would like a bottle of whatever the strongest thing that you have is.
Oh, of course, yeah. And he pulls like a bottle of beautiful like brandy from behind the bar. It is made locally.
I take a large swig of it.
It burns all the way down.
I turn and head back to the carriage.
Cool. Okay. So you get back to the carriage. I take it you guys have waited with bated breath to find out what the hell is going on.
I'm pacing back and forth in our carriage.
Okay.
I'm currently trying to work out how to forge automaton ownership papers.
Okay. Actually going to try it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. You got a forgery kit, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you roll me an intelligence check then with your forgery kit, and obviously because it's a tool you're proficient with, double your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, I can't really screw these up. Hopefully,
We'll
have to
famous last words.
You always have to say hopefully at the end, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself guidance, because I can. Oh. Okay, well, I said guidance anyway, so I'll total it. It makes me happy.
Your bardic inspiration?
Oh, no. No, I really don't.
I don't think that's going to be necessary.
35.
Sorry?
35. I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
And then added various things to it.
Okay. Having seen like various documents in your travels now, travel papers, ownership, it's very easy, in fact, for you to remember and probably piece together something. Something from Albion, a purchase in Cardiff. Even though it was a city, the quality of documents produced in Cardiff were still less than Londinium, and still less than even the port town of Calas, as you saw the documents when you got into town there. So a rough approximation of a receipt, an invoice, 4 5s from the local sheriff's office in Cardiff that you knew owned at least one of the older model of automatons that had been sent over from the continent, because you saw them when they were unveiled. You draw up. In fact, it's probably a better quality invoice than anything ever produced in Cardiff. But if presented to a highborn elven noble, they probably wouldn't mind touching it with their fingers instead of, they wouldn't mind soiling their hands by holding it because it's such a good document.
To make sure it's correct as well, I use Vizier's knowledge of Elvish to make sure all of the language is correct and it's all written well, which probably helped. I fold it up then and I give it to Ori and go, here you go, 5's is ownership papers. So we can get him back.
I shove them in like a little pouch. Good.
And in that time, for you forging that, Sepsis returns.
Sepsis, how was your drink?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's how I thought you were going to sound coming back.
It was... that guy scares me a little.
Yeah? Nobody really scares you, I think.
He seems to
You
incite
are
nothing but
labouring...
rage in me.
You are labouring under a misapprehension.
You always seem pretty confident with people. Well, I mean, all right, sort of confident. Not worried about fighting anyone, I think.
Certainly not while I'm standing behind 2 automata, paladin, and a demon-blooded sorcerer wreathed in fire.
Okay, that's fair. What did he say?
That's a fair question, and I can't answer it. Because if I answer it, he says he will know and kill me on the spot.
He got into your head,
And
didn't he?
I swig deeply from the bottle.
Now I roll an insight check against what Sepsis is saying, despite fully believing what they're saying to me, but I want to...
It's good. Look, see, he got in your head, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he tried with me.
I am more used to being the one doing that.
It's one of the better insight checks I've ever rolled against Sepsis, which is just infuriating.
It would be when I'm not lying.
Yeah, it's an 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Sepsis is absolutely telling the truth. And as you take in every detail you can about Sepsis, you notice that for the first time, and maybe because you've spent so long traveling with them and got to know them as well as Sepsis will allow, you can see fear there.
Yeah, this guy's gotta go. Wait, is he gonna read that from your head? Next time you see him, just don't think about that, okay?
Excellent. Hey, Dice, don't think about purple elephants a moment.
I'm thinking about wooden shoes.
You're infuriating, and I hand the bottle to Ariana.
Ace just goes,
Chug it.
all I can think about now is purple elephants.
Yeah.
But upside down, their faces look like pumpkins.
Why you gonna call me out like that? They were blue.
Well, but Bri couldn't possibly.
Why are you going to call me out like that?
I'm
You
going.
should call me out first.
I'm going to tuck one in with my cloak again to make sure she's comfy and happy, and then sort of sit down with a flump in the corner.
I flop down on the floor with the bottle and take a massive. I pretty much chug half the bottle.
Oh God!
And then hand it back to Sepsis. I just go, I want to set every nerve in his body on fire so he feels every ounce of pain he has ever inflicted on anyone.
I didn't hear a fucking word of that, and I'd taken up a big swig.
I didn't name anyone.
There is a sudden realization to you all that it's very late at night. It's maybe, as Oriana looks at her watch, it's like midnight, or coming up on 12:30. And out of character, this entire session has been you role-playing 2 hours, whereas the last session was the entire day leading up to this 2 hours. But in character, it's and suddenly, almost as one, this overwhelming sense of exhaustion just hits you. What you have survived, what you've experienced, the things you've learned, the things you've done. Sepsis.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Boss.
Yes, one.
Come see.
Okay, I swap over to seeing through Worm's eyes.
Peak position.
That must be interesting because Sepsis is working on being pretty drunk, and then swaps over to Sepsis is drunk, but seeing through the eyes of someone who isn't drunk. Like a moment ago, the room was spinning, and now I guess it probably isn't spinning.
Mm-hmm. As your vision clears and stops moving, you notice that Worm is focusing on the previous newly lit up display that you'd seen, the lines of crystals denoting the carriages. And you see one of the goblins come back into the engine room.
There is just a part of the carriage left. There is nothing else. Everything is gone. The part of the carriage is the only thing hanging on to the end of the train.
One of the goblins nods.
Very well. We will remove it as if it was still there. But simple. You can do this yourself next time when we have to attach the others at our next stop.
And he presses the button, and you see all of the 6 blinking carriages that have been lost kind of hop back one. Like there is now a blank, turned out black crystal between them and the rest of the actively lit train. And then they just turn off and stop.
And see this here, when the other carriages want to be attached, you press this one and it attaches them. It is simple. Even an idiot like you can do it.
And the goblin he's insulting hits him over the head with a pipe, and they start having a scrap in the front of the train. While the third goblin starts it back up, and the train begins to move once more.
Okay, I will snap back into my own drunk head.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned a thing.
Okay.
About the train?
About the train.
Tell us in the morning, Sepsis.
You can disconnect carriages from the engine compartment.
Oh,
Doesn't
without
matter.
blowing them up.
Worm could do it.
Worm?
Worm's in the creature.
No, you said worm.
You
Oh, I miss Worm.
I want to roll an insight check on
I
that.
do too.
And I will also roll competing constitution saves as we've both been drinking.
Go for it.
So if we both
Go
roll
for it.
constitution first.
Okay.
Hey, does being immune to poison have any effect on it?
Nope.
Absolutely.
I'm using Flash of Genius, Rich.
Okay.
I rolled a 13 on the Constitution save.
I rolled
Yeah.
23.
Okay. So yeah, you're a lot drunker than Oriana right now.
Okay.
You've just
Deception.
been knocking back swigs of very expensive, very high percentage brandy.
Deception versus insight.
Insight.
Deception with disadvantage versus insight straight.
Fuck you.
I think that's how you list.
Oh,
Okay. What was your insight dice? Because you're
With Flash of Genius, 3.
What?
23.
Oriana, what was your insight?
17.
Sepsis, what was your deception?
25. Where'd Millie go?
I've quit. Table flip. I'm not doing
Cannot
this.
read
I
this
rolled-
person.
With disadvantage, I rolled a 19 and a 13.
I
I
like
have
imagines
a
that was
12.
what happens is you say I miss worm and then start sobbing and I'm like, okay.
I rolled an 18 and I added 5 to it.
I'm sorry.
It was
I
20.
don't add anything to an insight check, do I?
I made my character for this.
What's your insight score?
Mine's plus fucking 1. So it's 18, 19, it was actually 24, not 23. So I was 1 point. 1 point of nailing sepsis this time.
Wait, do you add something to insight?
Yeah,
I've
insight.
seen your skills.
Oh, right.
It's in
Oh,
your
yeah,
skills,
no, it was 19 then, but yeah, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you weren't really in the mindset to bardic inspiration
No.
yourself. So
No.
I'm a
And it only would give
deception
me another
monster.
4.
yeah, so you two absolutely believe that Sepsis misspoke and that they very much miss their original summoned imp friend, Worm.
I pat Sepsis gently on the shoulder and go, I'm sure he misses you too.
Well,
Talk about it in
probably
the
he's in
morning.
hell.
Maybe I'll see him one day.
Maybe.
So-
I'm
I'm gonna hand
Anyway,
the bottle to Dice.
Creature is in the engine compartment, and Creature can press buttons. He's got handses
Hanses, huh?
for pressing buttons, like the button to disconnect carriages, for example.
So he could disconnect the humans.
Yes.
The humans' carriages, not the humans themselves.
Don't have this
Yes.
That makes life easier. So we could disconnect the humans and then crash the train.
Or
We're not crash the train, Ori. We're not crashing the train.
we could crash the train.
We can't crash the train, Sepsis. Ace would never forgive anyone.
Wait, who's piloting, driving, right? Who's
Yeah,
running this thing?
3 goblins.
Oh my god! If they got disconnected, they'll blame the goblins because they're goblins.
Mm.
How competent are they at their job, Sepsis?
They know a lot about trains, and they are sort of like a comedy trio. Anything even remotely out of the ordinary happens, and they start scrapping with each other. So
Perfect.
I would say they're competent train drivers, but they're a little chaotic.
What if we found a way to just tie them up and leave them in a corner so it doesn't train jetting, solving the problem? So
No. We want to blame the goblins.
Oh, we want to blame the goblins. Okay.
Yeah, they're
not-
dumb. One of them could have done it. It's just fucking about.
Honestly, I have no particular fondness for these goblins. I don't have particularly guilt over that. That's fine. But we can't crash the train. That's my...
Fine, we won't crash the train, but we can
Dice, ever
disconnect the humans.
Ever since I was a little sepsis, it's been my lifelong dream to crash a train.
And today you
didn't even think mountains were real. How did you then know about trains?
I didn't. Ever since I got on this train and found out how to control it, it's been my lifelong dream to crash a train.
Look, Sepsis, if you're really lucky, at some point we'll find you a nice empty one that you can just drive into a wall for fun, okay?
It wouldn't be the same.
I take another mouthful of the brandy and just hold the bottle out until somebody takes it off me.
I take it.
I point towards Ace and I'm like, Ace, brandy? Having now had a couple of decent swigs myself. Ace?
Ace just kind of shakes their head and just puts on a very worried kind of mom friend expression, like, you've all had a bit too much now.
To train crash
I am going to bed where I need to either pray or meditate so I don't blow up the rest of the train.
Okay, but try and use one of the ones with the quieter buzzing sound if you're going to do that.
I didn't bring any of those with me.
That's masturbate. Sounds similar, but it doesn't mean the same thing.
It's a bit like meditating.
Can be.
I go and sit on my bed and I sort of lie down with the room spinning a little bit. And the last thing I mumble is just, Hades, please.
Sepsis is sitting there quietly in the realization that they've been using a word very, very wrong their entire life.
Meditate, masturbate.
Yeah, but in which way?
I need to know more about what's going on in Sepsis's head right now.
Or inside Sepsis's cloak.
What are you doing? Meditating.
Sepsis, why is your cloak vibrating?
I'm meditating. Leave me alone.
I told you not to bother me while I'm meditating.
And on that note, then, because I think you've all actually, while not drinking any alcohol, descended into drunken fits of giggles and chaos. I think, as you then
Did post us when they just kept describing us as a group and then a sack of rags, just a vibrating sack of rags.
As you all fall into your drunken sleep, watched over by your good mom friend, Ace, we're gonna leave it there. That's
Services always block their door.
We are gonna leave it there for the evening. But yes, thank you guys very much for coming along. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being actually staying and being subjected to the Inquisitor. It's always fun.
I hate him so much.
But yeah,
so much.
Sometimes I think you put the Inquisitor in just to like test my convictions. Like, will I play Sepsis when I have to pretend not to be bothered by this motherfucker?
I mean,
you're doing really good. You're doing real good. But yes,
it's harder and harder every week not to kick his door down and set him on fire. And I'm talking about you, not the Inquisitor.
But no, as always, just to obviously let AD get off and let everyone else as well.
Why?
What Sepsis is doing?
He's got some meditating to do.
As always,
please stop the stream.
Thank you to those who have watched. Thank you to those who will watch. As always, Heavyweight Gaming is a fantastic community full of lots and lots of tabletop RPGs played throughout the week. I believe this is the week off. However, there are many VODs available on this channel and their YouTube. Please go along. We've got some fantastic DMs, wonderful players, slightly cleaner, slightly more chaotic than us sometimes.
The reason we're the Sunday night slot.
Yeah. Please check out our sponsors. Please go check out Loki Battle Mats and Blink Dog Dice. Please check out our Twitter. Behold the Dice on Twitter this week for an upcoming giveaway that you've got to actually look at Twitter to be involved in. And please join us next week for another Blink Dog Dice giveaway that will be done midstream as well. As always, though, please take care,
Stay safe. Wear a mask. Don't go outside unless you have to. Follow
Don't
common
meditate too much, you'll
sense.
go blind.
Don't meditate too much, you'll go blind.
However, masturbate to your heart's content.
We love you guys.
Good night.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.